All right, Kaley, so we're going to talk about your kitchen written assignment. I'm going to start with the reflective statement, which I copied and pasted into your written assignment for you. And then we'll talk about the essay, and then I'll show you the scores that I would think it would get at this point, okay? So, starting with the reflective statement, the primary thing here is we've got 300 to 400 words, and you've only used about 170.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this chunk in yellow is more summary of the novel than we need at this point. And really what I'd like for you to do is to maybe go back and look at your notes and see just how many aspects and things that they talked about with the cultural and contextual information was talked about in the oral, and then just go in and, you know, choose 3 or 4 of those and talk about them. We learned that, you know, you're talking about death, that's one of them, but there's like 3 or 4 more aspects of Japanese culture and Yoshimoto's life that you could talk about that would help make this stronger. Because their whole, what they wanted, the goal of the reflective statement is that this is an organic process, that you're reading the book, we're having these discussions, you're learning about this culture that's probably unfamiliar to you and to the rest of the class, so that when it comes time to write the actual analysis, the assignment itself, you've got more information than somebody who just picks this book up and is like, wow, this is really weird, this crazy Japanese culture.
Yeah.
Okay, so what they want to see here is what you learned in the actual orals, whether you were presenting or just listening, rather than an analysis or summary of kitchen. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, on to the essay. I'm also just letting people know that as far as your guiding question goes, once you've written the essay, if you find an answer to that question, or find a perhaps even a slightly different thread that works for you, we can change, you can change your essay so that it answers that question. So for instance, I think you found an answer to how they experience time.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Well, it's like in... Wait, sorry, could you repeat the question?
How do they experience time? What do you think?
Well, they experience it, it's different, like, because it's all, I believe that it's all in relation to her, like, her main theme, overcoming obstacles. So, like, they start to realize, like, through character development, they start to, like, realize that it's, time moves on.
Okay. What does Yoshimoto compare it to?
What do you mean?
I'm putting you on the spot. Here's your answer.
I don't remember what I wrote.
Here's your answer.
Oh.
It's this extended metaphor, is what you can call it. But in both stories and for all of these characters, it seems that it has to do with this thing called the flow of time. And what flows?
A river.
Boom. Okay? And whether it's the endless ocean of blackness of space or the flowing river, we've got this extended metaphor that time is almost like a liquid. It's a body that moves, and that you never set your foot into the same stream twice kind of idea, right? And it's through that recognition that they come to accept death and despair in some ways, right? Okay, cool. So you find that answer, and so instead of having this question, you then now have a title: Yoshimoto's use of the river of time, Yoshimoto's extended metaphor in kitchen, something like that. Does that make sense? And by changing it to a statement rather than a question, it really changes how your essay is going to work. So we can start to make claims rather than try to find answers.
Yeah.
Because right now your introduction is it's like you're kind of fishing around, trying to figure out what it is you're going to say. The last sentence is close to it. She explores the perception of time and how it's affected by loss, but that's still not a thesis statement.
Yeah.
Right? You've got great quotes. The quotes are fantastic. The challenge in your revision is going to be reorganizing this so that we see that focus on Yoshimoto's use of this metaphor that seems to go to flow through both books.
Yeah.
Okay? And in that way, I think the paper itself and your argument, your analysis, will really develop. Would you answer that for me, Nicole? Thank you.
Where is it? Mr. Mary's room for White House. He's at a meeting right now. Can I take a message? Yeah. Yeah, she's actually in the meeting with Mr. Mary right now.
5 minutes. Okay.
Do you know what two books they are, or does she know?
All right. So,
All right, I'll let her know when she's out. Thank you.
so with that, it changes
She's in the history room, but I can
kind of
give her a message.
like this paragraph where we're talking about scattered blackness of time. It's really going to give that more
He's also
focus so that you can develop this more. Because what you're saying is Mikage lacks understanding of what truly happens when someone dies. Mikage believes that people who die get lost somewhere in the blackness of time because although they no longer live, time continues to pass.
All right.
Eh,
Can I go deliver a message?
sure. I'm not sure.
No.
I mean, after reading this, I'm not sure that your own paper agrees with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was kind of in relation to the existentialist point of view, where I mean, a religious person or someone who believed in some form of afterlife probably wouldn't refer to a deceased person disappearing in the blackness of time and go to heaven. That's why I said that, because yeah.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I do, but I guess there too, there's, a tremendous difference between a Christian belief in heaven and a more traditional Shinto or Buddhist belief that, you are gone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a bad thing. You become part of this energy, if you will, that you return to. I'm not sure. I see what you're saying, though.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's where this in blue. I've got it in blue because it's there's some good stuff in there, but it's kind of like yellow and green make blue,
Yeah.
right? So it's there's cautionary and good, and it's not like I want to put it in yellow, but I don't want to put it in green either, because the way it is right now, it's somewhere in between. It's not. It's potentially hurting your essay.
Yeah.
I love this analogy, and I like the idea of death and stopping the clock. At the same time, it has nothing to do with Japanese culture.
Yeah.
The idea is great. You could suggest that this notion of death and time is bigger than any culture or even belief systems, as seen through, you know, this Victorian era customs and Yoshimoto's novel. If you want to do that, you could almost move that story and this idea to your introduction.
Yeah.
And it becomes one of the main ideas of what's kind of guiding your paper, which is this connection of time and death.
Yeah.
Yes, she is in a.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And the way that Yoshimoto portrays it is with the extended metaphor of water or a river.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But with that whole like flow thing, isn't the word flow only mentioned in that one?
It's fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can make a mountain out of a molehill
Yeah.
in an essay like this.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm.
You're the attorney that's getting somebody, you know, off of a murder charge because the glove didn't fit, or you're the attorney that's getting somebody sentenced to death because they smoked a cigarette at their mom's funeral. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, just small details in the way they're presented.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we're doing. All right, cool. The flow of time here with Setsuki, right?
Yep.
I think you should go and look at maybe some of Mikage's quotes about continuing to go. I'm almost certain there's another flow.
Really?
I'm almost certain.
It'd be easy to find. You can like go on the
Google,
PDF
yep,
and like
word
and
search.
F it and then
Mhm.
yeah. But
So, all right, you'll do that. And then here again, I mean, kind of a solid claim, which is much better than a question, which, as far as the revised product goes, we have to start with a question.
yeah.
We have to go through this process that you've done here to get to the ideas, the insights, and the quotes that you then recraft into
Yeah.
this more polished piece.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All right. Questions? Cool? All right. So again, this is just as it stands.
Mm-hmm.
That's out of 3. Just bring in more details.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? These all will come up with the improved organization and focus that a thesis statement provides.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Some sort of claim as to, it's not how they experience it, but how does Yoshimoto show that experience?
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop recording now. And I will try and get this uploaded at lunch.
Okay.
Or actually, I'm gonna upload it. I will send you the link